Hyvä Kari. Hyvin vedetty.
Welcome to follow my Mikkeli-Jukola run in second leg. So this is the same video I did already in my channel, but now this comes with English voiceover. So those of you who have seen already my Jukola video, then this may not be for you. But at least for those who don't understand Finnish, this might be a little bit helpful, at least compared to the previous video. So here you will see 19 controlled course I performed, and this year the terrain was quite hilly and demanding, and actually you will be seeing quite a lot of challenges throughout the race in different kind of areas. So my performance started well because my teammate Kari, he did a solid run, and my starting place was around 157, which is actually very good starting position for our team. Also, I want to give some kudos to my channel members who have been supporting this channel throughout the year. So thank you all. I know that it's mostly Finnish audience, but it might be something that some of you who are not like traditional Finnish audience might also feel this interesting. I also want to give big thanks to my channel supporters. So I have some cooperation with some of the companies, so they have also offered some discount codes. So if you use those discount codes, they will also give some support to the channel throughout those shoppings. But anyway, once more, big thanks to channel members, big thanks to all the partners, and big thanks to all of you who have been following my videos. And that's of course kind of quite nice to see that so many are enjoying these videos. Now we are heading our way to the starting point. You don't see the map yet. It will be visible closer to the starting point. As you can see, it's not completely dark. That's the Finnish summer night, but still it's probably the darkest time of the night. So when we are entering to the forest, it's completely dark there. And here we will see now the first control. My control is actually that one in the top corner there, in the middle one, small stone. And before the race I actually followed the Venla relay, and I saw some images from the map when they started from the starting point, and I was believing that probably the Jukola will start towards that direction where I'm now actually heading. So I was kind of mentally quite ready for this direction, and first I thought that yeah, maybe I could run along the road. So there's a road and then some kind of electricity line which is going over the road on the right hand side of that map picture there. And there were some other runners in front of me, and I actually noticed one of the guys, he's running in the same age category as I'm, and I thought that yeah, well, maybe I try to kind of enjoy that little bit faster pace what he was hitting there, and thereby I started to execute this leg quite straight. However, I started to notice that this path here where so many runners have been already running during the first leg, and now when I'm in the second leg, there started to be quite clear paths in some part of the terrain, and I noticed that this is going now fairly straight, and I wanted to go slightly more to right, but I thought that well, maybe I will still go here. There was some kind of small cliff. I went down, and I was also thinking that yeah, my route choice plan is actually using that road and then going that road to the to right to reach the electricity line, and then from there I try to kind of find my own route to my control. But later on, when I was starting to analyze this leg more, I think there were some comments also in my Finnish video that there were runners who used that leftmost route choice to that same control where I'm heading. So you see that kind of one small drinking cup there. So there is probably kind of a good route choice also there. But as you can see here, I'm heading fairly straight using my compass and of course watching that where this man-made path is actually going. And now I realize that those other guys, they are going even more to left. So then I thought that now I try to twist my direction slightly toward the right, and there were no runners here in front of me. But I knew that when I'm just kind of executing this direction, I will be hitting the road quite soon, and then I just kind of turn right and follow the road. So that's going to be a good plan here. And now I saw some other lamps that they are probably going also same direction there, and this was fairly easy go down here this downhill, because there were also many runners who have been using that same path earlier. But here we go, now we are on the road, and I also noticed that the same runner from Easy Rusty is there. I think he made slightly, I probably catched a couple of seconds his back because he went slightly more left before reaching the road. And now when I'm on this road, I realize that, yeah, he's running much faster than I am. So I try to just accommodate my speed for a good level. And at the same time, I also started to think that what will be my kind of route choice when I have reached the electricity line there and turned left from this road. Well, maybe one thing to kind of highlight still is that the map you will be seeing on this video, this animation, in the forest, I don't see those other controls there. I just have a map which includes my own control. So there's a route and line goes from each control to the second control and third control and so on. So this is just kind of a map I was able to build the animation after the race. So when someone is running in the forest, they don't see that there is this kind of different controls. And why there are different controls? So here you, for example, see 3 different controls, which actually there is also there are actually 2 more. So 2 more first controls. So in fact, in Jukola relay this year, first 4 legs had 4 different first controls, and runners don't know that which control they actually have when they are starting their own leg. So at this point I only knew that my control is that small stone there, and that's the direction where I'm now heading. But later on, after the race, I learned that there were those 4 different controls, and actually only 2 controls here are visible, the B1 and A1, and then there were also C1 and D1. But anyway, now let's try to focus on hitting this control smoothly. We are going to see some challenges, but at this point I knew exactly where I am, and now my plan was just to kind of go down from this hill. There is quite steep downhill where the other runners are now entering, and that was also my plan. My plan was actually that I would go down here and then go on the right side of that really small pond there, and then climb up the hill and head to this A1 control, which is marked on this map in the middle of those 3 controls. Well, anyway, this was fairly steep downhill, and I took it quite easy because it is always possible that something may happen when you are kind of entering down on these. So probably over the years I have become a bit more careful in those places. But now I feel that I have reached now the bottom of that hill, and let's then think that should I actually turn a little bit more on this right hand side, and this was a good selection, so it was easy to go here, and some other runners came. I think they were probably first leg runners, and now I realize that there is some kind of a small man-made path here. Maybe I will follow this, and at the same time I realize that that small pond is now on my right hand side. So I'm actually going on the left side of that small pond. But at this point I still thought that everything is good, and there was quite clear route. You saw that I twisted my compass a little bit here. I wanted to make sure that I have a good direction, and then I started to reach the edge of that marsh area and started to climb up. Quite quickly I realized that there is quite steep cliff on my left side. So now I made kind of my first mistake, that I started to think that I'm actually now maybe 50 meter or maybe 100 meter more on the right hand side, that I'm climbing up that slightly smaller hill, not there where you can see my GPS location going. So I was kind of thinking that, wow, this is quite steep part here, that how this is so steep. Well, anyway, let's go forward, and it was clear that there were many other runners who have been going this area earlier, so I kind of felt that, yeah, this is okay. But I did not know that most likely many of these runners have actually gone to that B1 control there. And I'm actually using a chest mount for my GoPro camera here, so that's why you will see slightly it's tilting down, because it's quite steep uphill here, and I'm bending my body a little bit forward. But once we reach the flat area and going again downhills, then you will see it much better, the landscape also what's ahead. Anyway, let's go up here, and at this point I was still thinking that I'm now reaching the top of that smaller hill, which is maybe 50 meters on the right hand side, and my idea was to reach that small, or it's actually quite big cliff, but it's on top of this hill, and then I would go just on the right hand side of that cliff and then attack to my control there. And now I believe that the cliff should be somewhere here, but I cannot see that cliff, so I'm still kind of believing that I'm maybe 50 meters or 75 meters more on the right. And now I start to be a bit confused, because I really cannot see the cliff, and there is actually no bigger hill in front of me. So I was kind of, okay, now something is not right. There were also some other runners coming here. I even had some conversation there with one other Finnish runner. He came to kind of show my map that where he thinks we are, and I was also a bit confused, because I was thinking that I'm still on that other hill, and I think he was right. We were closer to that B1 area, and then I also realized that I need to make a correction to my direction, and now let's try to hit to my own control. This was really dense part, and I would say that probably this first control area was really tricky for many runners. Those two other controls, which we cannot see now on this map, we will see them later on, but I can probably describe that for those two controls one could have used that road I used earlier in this route choice. They could have even continued along that road after that electric line where I turned left. So they were even further away, those two other first controls, and I think the course setter made quite big differences for these first controls. So that's the way how course setter can also make sure that there will be many runners who will actually decide to take not so optimal route choice because they are following other runners. So I think that was quite a good work from the course setter for these first controls. Anyway, I thought that now I'm very nearby the stone, and I actually thought that is this now the stone? But in fact, you cannot now see it under the GPS dot, but there is a big stone and small cliff just next to this big stone. And I started to think that, well, this cannot be my control. It's so big, this whole stone. And then I finally realized that, well, it's maybe some 40 meters in front of me, the actual control point. And finally I started to hit to the control area, and I saw many other runners here, and I also saw my control flag here. So that was fairly difficult start for my race, and if I'm taking a look on the split times, I can see that my split for the first control was really many minutes behind the fastest runners who hit this control. I think even 6 minutes faster were the fastest runners. Well, probably I lost maybe 3 minutes physically, but maybe at least 3 minutes mistake there. So not so good start for my run. Now it's very short leg. Let's see if we can nail this control better. There were quite big cliffs in the beginning of the leg, and now I just want to climb up to this next hill, and I know that there is going to be some kind of marsh on the left hand side that I'm kind of going around that little bit denser area, and other runners were also going same direction. Now I already knew that the control is actually behind this kind of small hill. There is a small cliff where the control should be, and here we can see it already. So this was much more a smoother performance for this leg, and I can see that now I was already, I think my position in this leg was like 46 out of 402 runners, so it was kind of a much smoother performance. Let's go now to that third control. Here you see quite a big mess in the map animation, so where I'm actually heading, well, you see my dot, that was the second control, and on the top part of this map animation you see number 3, so I'm heading now to that control number 3. So maybe just repeating myself, but in the competition map where I'm running now and watching there are no those other controls except my second control where I left and the third control where I'm heading. So this is just kind of a compiled all the controls map here. I was thinking that should I make some route choice through the road on the left hand side, but that was quite big go around, and I quite quickly realized that I want to actually go fairly straight this control. There were actually not so big hills here, even though there are some hills, but if you kind of take a look, one can fairly well actually go around many of those hills, and thereby I think this was a good selection for me. But you can see it's quite dense, and when the terrain is dense, it typically means that it is not so fast compared to those white areas. But overall, I think I was quite happy that many other runners have been also going through this part of the terrain during the first leg. So there were some of these clear man-made paths which one could use, at least if not all the time, at least partially. And I actually enjoyed quite a lot of doing my own compass work here and executing this leg. I knew exactly where I am, and now I was just expecting that there should be some kind of downhill on the left hand side soon, and I want to go there because it's looks to be quite dense area there in the bottom of that slope. But maybe on the right hand side there could be some man-made paths already, and here I actually saw that some runners have been running, and I also now reached that right hand side of that a bit denser area. And this other runner started to go the same direction, so it was actually quite easy to follow the same area and same route here. And here you can also see that there are quite clear path in the forest, so many runners have been passing this area earlier. There is going to be one other control, C1, so that's actually as there were those 4 different first controls, so this C1 is the most far away, so the furthermost control, and to this control one could have actually approached that control from the right side of that map animation. We cannot see the road there, but there is this very narrow small lake, so on the kind of the right side of that lake the road is quite nearby there. But anyway, now actually reach some kind of corner of that let's say there was kind of 2 hills, and there was kind of a corner of that flat area, so I climbed up and started to kind of find my way towards the 3rd control. I was first thinking that maybe I will go between those cliffs, so there are some very narrow yellow paths, so those paths are actually made by some forest machines earlier, and I was thinking, is it now there on the right? And it would have been there, but I was a bit unsure that isn't that actually the previous one, and thereby I continued my route very directly, and at this point I realized that there were quite a lot of these harvested trees, so I realized that now I'm actually on that very straight line, that if I would have continued to right where I was going, I could have optimized slightly this uphill what I needed to do now. But anyway, it was quite good, and as you can see from the map, that very dense green harvested very slow area, it's now on the left hand side, and now I'm again on the white part of the map, which is typically a good runnability. So it was quite nice to go here. And here you can see also I'm opening the map a little bit and trying to see that where is the next control, and also taking a look on how to hit this third control. I realized that it's actually not very up here on this control, so I need to actually go downhill quite a while, and I did not know it at this point, but as you can see from the map animation, this third control is a kind of a common control for all the runners in this leg. So we will see that many runners have been actually there earlier. And here we see actually lamps are approaching the control from different directions, and now I saw already the control flag there. So that was fairly okay. Let's have a look on the split time. So I was out of 402 runners, I was the 29th overall. So that was actually, I would say, really good performance for that leg for me. And here we also can see that my starting position for this leg was, as stated, was it like 157, and now at this point, after my major mistake in the first control, but then fairly solid runs to the second and third control, my place in this relay is 158. So I have lost now one position by the third control. So let's see if I can improve now. I can already really reveal that the difficult first control was my biggest nightmare for this performance. So now I hopefully can make more solid run. For this fourth control, I started to think that maybe I try to avoid those bigger hills, and there are also some kind of a smaller path which is drawn on the map on the right hand side of the control. So maybe I could use that and go along that very nearby the control. Maybe even attack the control sort of behind the control, because the fourth control is fairly high on that small hill, but it's on the kind of the behind the hill, I would say. So that's why I started to go towards the Mars area, which I now just reached. There were actually some harvesting machine made path which I used, and it was actually very nice to come here. But now I also realized that this marsh is quite wet, and then I realized that, oh, there is even more wet area here, and I thought that I cannot actually go across there, so I needed to come here and then just jump over that area. And yeah, it was quite wet there, but I made it, and now I just kind of try to follow the edge of that marsh and reach that forest machine area or path there. Should be visible quite soon. I'm still on this marsh area, but I also noticed that some other runners have been running here earlier. It also a little bit helped my way here, and now I feel that this is already the path which is on the map as well. And now the key question is that how I will now go forward. And I think I will make a small stop here soon. I just want to make sure that it is actually there on the right hand side where I should go. I was bit unsure soon here, so that's why I made that kind of small stop there. I think it was somewhere here. Yeah, I made a double check that is this now the crossroad, and yeah, it was the crossroad which was also on the map, and that's why I twisted my direction to right hand side and climbed up this hill. Now we are between two bigger hills, and soon there will be downhill, and there is also some drinking station and first aid station in front of me. But at this point of the run, I felt that no need to take any drink there, so I just kept going and enjoyed my kind of good feeling here, because at this point I had a feeling that I'm doing fairly good route choice, and in fact this was okay. I think there were some other runners who also made route choice more on the left hand side, but overall I believe that this was a good selection for me. And even though it was quite soft here, this part, again I'm running now along with this kind of a yellow line on a map. Some forest harvesting machine has made it, and it was really not perfect from the runnability point of view, but overall it was quite okay. And at this point I thought that should I actually follow this yellow line straight, but then I realized that maybe it's better just take a bit more straight direction or route choice here. And I realized from the training terrains, or this kind of model terrains where I was running many times before this Jukola relay, that quite often when you have a white area on a map where you have these kinds of you can already say that there are some big spruces there, so that's why it was actually quite a good runnability there in that area which I passed through maybe 100 meters ago. There were quite many first leg runners here, and I was thinking in my mind that okay, maybe first leg has some own control somewhere here, because so many of these first leg runners were still coming here. So maybe it's good to highlight that there were almost 2,000 different teams participating in this Jukola relay. I don't know what was the exact figure, but maybe around 1,700 is quite near the exact figure. And as I said, when I started my second leg, my teammate handed over the map in position 157, so there were more than 1,500 teams still fighting through the first leg at that point. So that's why you see many other runners as well who are not on this second leg yet. Jukola relay is kind of known as an event that you have those world top runners there representing many club teams, but then there are also many teams which may be kind of some group of friends who have decided that hey, let's go to Jukola relay, or then there can be some former athletes. I mean, orienteering is a sport where you can freely decide your own speed, and you don't always need to aim to be the fastest or so. So there are many older people who are also joining Jukola relay and enjoying the annual big gathering in Jukola. Maybe their club mates can be older runners as well. So it's kind of a quite unique event, I would say. Probably oldest runners are over 80 years old, so they may not run anymore, but they might walk through the course, which can be also quite a challenge, because in Jukola these courses have been planned for top runners, for these elite runners, and if elite runner needs to kind of feel it difficult then it is also very difficult, not only in orienteering wise difficult for everyone, but especially physically these legs can be quite tough. Here I made a small stop and just wanted to make sure that yes, now on the left hand side there should be this hill where the forward control is, and my plan is to see that open area on the right hand side. Now you see already that there is some kind of open area on my right hand side. So soon I'm leaving this path here and trying to see that big cliff and climb up on top of that hill after the cliff is ending there. And now I saw that okay, there is a cliff on my left side. Maybe I still need to a little bit go to right hand side. It was quite dense area here and it was not an easy decision to know where I'm exactly here, but I felt that I'm actually attacking the control quite nicely here. Then I also saw that hey, some runners have been going through here, so maybe the control is also somewhere here. And soon when I raised my head up, I saw that here is the control. So it was actually very good attack to that control. Here I decided that okay, I need to go around either on the left side or the right side, and actually it would have been good option to run even straight towards the drinking station, but somehow in my mind I already made a decision that I will go downhill and hit the road and then go along the road towards the drinking station and my fifth control. So why I was thinking that going straight towards drinking control would have been good option. Well, maybe it would not have been so dense, the terrain there. As you can see from the map, I'm now passing through this kind of very green area and it was quite slow. But in the meanwhile, let's have a look what was my place for the fourth control. So out of 1,602 runners, so here actually I can see now that a bit more than 1,600 teams completed the second leg. So out of those runners, my position on that leg was 180. So 180. So quite okay. It seems that since the third control, where my place was 158, I passed some runners, so my position is now 150. So it was kind of a fairly good route choice, I would say, what I took there. As you can see, I took some water from the drinking station, and now I'm just thinking that how soon I should leave this road and start to kind of go towards the fifth control. And that's the place I made my decision. I always feel it so that it's kind of a, when you are running on a road or path which is easy surface, it is always, there is some kind of challenge to leave from that. So I feel that one can easily go a bit too far away along that kind of good part. Maybe I just need to improve my shape a little bit so I don't feel it so tough to kind of leave a good and solid road and enter the forest. Anyway, now I'm climbing up here and I saw one other runner on the right hand side. I think he was going slightly more on the right side and slightly slower, so I was able to pass him. And then I was also thinking here that Well, soon I will reach the top of this hill, and big cliff is the control point for the fifth control. It's not going to be very easy control at all, so I started to feel that if I'm attacking to that control on the left hand side, maybe I will see also some man-made path there which could kind of lead me to that control, because as you can see, my next control is very near the fifth control. The sixth control is only maybe a bit more than 100 meters away, so sometimes approaching the control from that direction may help to find it. And there was also a bit more dense area if I would have attacked the control exactly directly. And now I'm going downhill, and there was also some dense part here, but I felt that I'm quite nearby the control, but I did not see any cliff here. There was one other runner, seemingly he probably visited that control, and I made a couple of seconds stop here and analyzed the situation and thought that it must be here, and I think that was a good decision. So it was indeed there, and then it's already going towards the sixth control, which is a very short one. So let's have a look on the fifth control. I managed to overtake one runner there. Probably it was not so good split time for me, because it was quite physical. There were probably many runners who were enjoying that road there. So my place was 249 out of 2000 out of 1600, and that was now the sixth control, and my position is now 149 overall, so no changes there in that short leg. But now we are heading to that seventh control. You see the marking E here, so why we don't see any number 7 there? Well, it's because of this compiled map. Here we see 3 different controls. So I have the leftmost control, and quite quickly I realized that I want to make a route choice and approach the control nearby the lake. So I took the left route choice. I want to go around those very green areas, which looks quite difficult there, and I think I made a right choice, because I was able to enjoy this road for a while here, and then I turned my compass so that I have a good direction toward the next white area there through this green forest. Here is a little bit white forest in the beginning, but quite soon I'm entering a bit more dense area, and I just wanted to make sure that I have a good compass control here and hitting through that green area. No need to read map much here, just making sure that my direction is good, and probably I made a small check from the map that yeah, I just need to go forward here, and I was already expecting the downhill here, and now the downhill start to be here, and once I reach the bottom of that slope, there should be very flat area, and now we are reaching already that area. Like I said previously, many times this kind of very flat white area is this kind of a high-grown spruce forest, and runnability is very good here. I did not see many man-made paths here, so I felt a little bit unsure that is this actually a good route choice. but in fact it is going to be a good route choice. So I'm not disappointed about that. But maybe I was a bit analyzing in my previous Finnish video that I could have climbed up this hill, which I'm now actually seeing in front of me, but instead I wanted to make a bit more go around on the left hand side. So now on my right side there is this kind of small hill, and I'm just kind of following that slope because we cannot see it now, but it's very nearby, or on edge of that map animation there is a small path. So I'm hitting to that small path now, and my GPS dot will be visible again very soon when I have reached the path and hit again back to that map animation. So here was still quite tough part of the terrain, and that's why I'm kind of wondering that was this actually absolutely necessary to go so much on the left, but it was quite okay. And as you can see, here is the path, which even became more clear because so many runners have been running along this path, and I felt that now this is good. And now you start to see my GPS dot again on the map there. So this was not even marked on the map, this part of the path here, but I think because there is a path from here, runners just made a kind of a clear man-made path there. So it was kind of a continuation of that map marked or path which was marked on a map. Well, again, many other runners, some first leg runners, and then some runners who have been already starting more early on the second leg. So typically one was able to think that if one is running very quickly, they must be those runners who are already started earlier for this leg, like these guys who were kind of coming there. But now I'm kind of having my moment there in this Jukola relay. It was very nice landscape on the left hand side, kind of a peaceful lake surface there, and I felt that this was a good route choice. I'm attacking my control quite solidly now on this route what I'm on, and I felt that this was a good decision for me to go along here. Now I jumped away from the path, and I also saw very small hill here, kind of a small one contour hill there, and turned a little bit my direction to left. There was actually one other runner who were just in front of me when I was running along the lake side there, but he was running a bit faster, but he made a small mistake to this control. He started or left the path slightly earlier, and I think I saw his lamp on the right hand side now, and he's also attacking the control after me. But anyway, I felt that this was kind of a good attack to this control. And now let's have a look on the split time. So I was 308 runners who were running to this control, and out of those I was in a position of 46th. So that was a good solid execution for that leg. Now is the 8th control. I immediately left the 7th control and started to go around that hill there. In my Finnish video I was thinking that should I have actually go over that first hill as well. Well, I don't know. This was quite okay for me, and at least I was able to avoid any extra uphill. And I mean, climbing up those hills, we will see enough climbs in the rest of the performance. So it was probably a clever choice to try to avoid the climb. Now on my left hand side I tried to see the hill which is on my left side, and there was this kind of one or two contours started to kind of go more on the left hand side. So it was kind of quite easy to know where I am here. And now I know exactly that after this part my control should be somewhere there straight ahead. I just need to climb up one or two contours, and here was a very steep part. I even need to kind of take some support from those trees, and then I thought that, well, maybe I will see the cliff quite soon. And it was not immediately here, but when I raised my head up, I noticed that there it is. So it was not far away, and there were even some other runners hanging around that control, so it made it even more easy for me. So to aid control, my split was I think I was 33rd out of 538, so that was actually really good leg for me, I must say. Well, now it's time to go to 9th control, and as you can see, it's a small cliff behind kind of a fairly small hill. So I started to go there just straight. There were not too many options in my opinion, and as you can see, there was quite strong man-made path here, so I started to feel that maybe this could even lead me to the control, that this must be some kind of a joint control during the first leg for many runners. But as we can actually see, indeed the 8th control where I'm now heading, it is going to be the same control for many runners. So now I'm approaching the top of the hill, and behind this hill there should be a small cliff, and I thought that it must be there a little bit on the left hand side, and there it is. So let's have a look. What was my split time there? 73rd out of 539. So again, fairly good, and my position in the relay is now 135th. So 135, and that's actually pretty nice. I have improved my position now, 22 position, and let's have a look what's next. So we have now the 10th control, which is again same control for all in this second leg, and I started to go there a bit on the right hand side, so there were quite dense part, but luckily I was able to hit the road quite smoothly and saw this first aid station and drinking station ahead of me. But I also had some uncertainty here when I jumped away from this road. There were a lot of markings on the surface, so many runners have been running here, and I felt a bit unsure here that I was thinking that my control is on the left hand side, but somehow this man-made path again kept me there like a prisoner. So I was kind of I was stuck with that for a couple of seconds, but then I dared to jump away and pick my control here. So 10th control, very smooth work here, and out of 1,602 teams, my leg position was, I was 65th, so quite a good performance there as well. But I was all alone, so no improvement to my overall position here. Then we will see very long leg, and as you can see, I need to put my swim gear on if I want to go straight, but that's something what I'm not going to do. So in fact I will move the map animation soon, but I quickly realized that I want to use the same lakeside route I used when I was going to the 7th control. So I decided to go around on the left hand side, that lake. There was an option to go also on the right side, but that was not appealing at all. So my decision was quite quick and quite clear that it's the left route where I'm now going, and now I'm already on the lakeside route here. Again, really beautiful moment here to run in the middle of the night, in the kind of the midsummer night, and perfect orienteering weather, I would say. I was also doing mostly my own work here, so it's somehow I also appreciate that more. And obviously my physical shape hasn't been so good compared to many years back, so then it's always nicer to find your own pace and try to kind of execute each control smoothly, and that way make kind of an own maximum performance that way. Here we go along the lakeside route here. It was quite easy to go here, and soon I realized that okay, this is now the same part I was already running earlier. My 7th control is actually somewhere on the left hand side behind me, and I have now at least maybe 300 meters along this path, which I already know, and there was some piece of wood which was in my shoes, so I need to kind of remove it away, and that way no more pain in my shoes. Yeah, I think this was absolutely the right decision to take this route choice, and there was I had an opportunity to kind of view that now I'm running along this path, but then on the map the path ends somewhere here, or very soon it will end, but in reality, in real life, there was no end for this path in this dense area as well. So maybe there were enough runners who just decided to create a path here. So that was the nature in this kind of a huge event, that if you're a top runner and you run in the area where no runners have been running, then it's only the things what you can see on a map will be visible there. But then for those runners who run way behind other runners, they can probably get some hints where the other runners have been running, because for example here many hundreds of runners have been going through this part already, maybe even more than almost 2,000 runners, maybe even at this point. I believe that many or most of the runners took this route choice. So yeah, but soon we will reach the road and when I reach the road, then I'm going to actually go along that road for a while, go back to that same drinking station where I already visited when I was heading from the 4th control to the 5th control, and then I'm going to use that smaller path there toward the 11th control. So yeah, things are going fairly well. Let's have a look here in the meanwhile that what's my situation in this leg. So in the 10th control I was behind the fastest runner in this leg around 15 minutes. So the most elite runner, or the top elite runner, was 15 minutes faster than I was in that control. So my total time that time was 55 minutes. So the top runner had spent only 40 minutes to that moment. So, but I must say that it's quite okay for me at this point. I made so big mistake in the first control, and there is also quite big gap between the physical shape between the elite runner and myself. So even though I'm doing the orienteering quite okay, the biggest difference of course comes through the physical shape, how quickly I could just run there. Okay, now I reached the crossroad here, and it seems that my GPS animation dot is also in the very edge of that map animation. Now we can see it again there, and you can see also I'm opening the map there and turning the map slightly better position in my hand, because sometimes when you have a long leg it can be difficult to kind of twist the map so that you feel that it's good to read. And especially in Jukola, traditionally you have a quite sizable map, so the terrain area where the competition is being held, it's quite large, and then you have also some maybe you have even some logos and other stuff around the map. So the map can be, I mean, A3 is already a kind of a typically the biggest map in many events, but in Jukola it can be even bigger. So then you feel that how to best twist the map and kind of put it in kind of such a fold it so that you feel that you can keep it and at the same time read those parts where you are. Anyway, now I think I have map smoothly folded there, and I'm executing my route here along this path, which is familiar for me already from that leg when I was heading to my 4th control. And I felt good because I knew that this was probably best route choice for me for this leg. I was able to go along easygoing surfaces, and I already started to feel a bit tired here. So at this point I have already gone more than 1 hour in the forest, and I think was it like something like 8 kilometers roughly. So I don't have any, I don't have too many kilometers left. This is 10 kilometer leg overall, and I kind of mentally felt that yeah, it's not too bad anymore. I just need to try to motivate myself that I can keep going on and pushing myself towards the finish. So here I'm now going just on the edge of that kind of denser area. Again, quite a good runnability here, but soon this surface is turning to more like a marsh, so it's getting more soft and more wet, which always make it a bit slower. But that 11th control is quite high on that hill which is on the map. So overall, now I need to make a good decision that what will be my way there, and quite soon I will make a kind of a turn to right, and I think it's somewhere here. Yes, here I turned, and I saw also some kind of man-made path here which helped my decision a little bit. But now I wanted to make a good micro route choice towards the control. There are some kind of a greenish area in front of me, and luckily there was this kind of man-made path here, so I was able to kind of a little bit fighting through the dense area through this along this path here, and yeah, it was quite okay. And now I'm approaching the edge of that greenish area, and at the same time I realized that this path is going totally different direction, so I need to turn my direction more towards the uphill. I was thinking that maybe that man-made path was created by previous legs or even Venla relay. I don't know. That's possible. But here I'm now climbing up, and direction is quite good, but I felt a little bit unsure here that at what level the control point is, and I will start to make sure that it's not there on the left. So I just wanted to kind of double check and turned my lamp and my head more on the left, just to make sure that it is not there, that I would not kind of mistakenly go or passing it through or passing it by. So I kind of concluded that it must be bit more further, and there it is. So I saw the control, and let's have a look what was my split time there. So out of 1600 runner, I was around 200 was my leg position, so fairly solid. And actually no change in my overall position, so I'm still in the position 135. Now it's really short leg here, 12th control, so small cliff there. One just must be quite careful here that I don't go too much on the left or right, and I felt that I'm doing quite okay here, so it was quite easy control for me. And then we will see quite interesting control. So now there was no other option than just climb up this big hill, so I needed to start my climbing journey here, and that's going to be quite tough. Luckily there were some man-made path here, and I was able to use those man-made paths here on this leg. My plan was that I tried to hit the highest point of this hill, and then I just start my long descent downhill, and the control, this small cliff, should be kind of the behind this hill. So I had fairly good idea what's going to happen during this leg. It was quite steep here, so I need to walk, and maybe even the bigger reason was that I started to be quite tired already. So it's probably not the steepness of the hill, but at least I was tired. So here we go, and now you can see I'm probably the highest point of that hill. I saw 2 other runners there going as well, and decided that I will just pass them and go towards downhill. It was quite good runnability here, and whenever you saw those man-made paths, they even made it easier. I mean, the runnability. Here I had quite nice feeling in that sense that there was some really good and nice orienteering. I mean, the terrain was demanding and quite big hills, and I saw this is now this part on this map that I was able to see that now if I go just here and follow the contours, I should kind of find my way to the cliff. I went slightly too much down here, but it was not kind of a critical thing, but I could probably have saved some seconds if I have stayed a bit higher. Somehow I kind of thought that let's just kind of make sure that I follow this kind of a contour here, and then I'm hitting that cliff. But I'm now maybe 1 contour too much down already, and then I saw that the control flag must be there, and saw also some other runners there as well. So this was the 13th control, and actually in the previous control I think yeah, no change in the leg position and the position of the relay. Many other runners here, I think first leg runners, and afterwards when I was doing some analysis I was thinking that maybe I should have just stayed in the same level where that previous control was and follow the contour towards the drinking station. Now I sort of waste a little bit my energy here that I came down, and now I'm going up again. So it could have been smoother to go along the contour lines there, follow just the hill, and then hit towards the 14th control. Anyway, I think I'm doing quite okay here, and ahead we can see already the drinking station. So it's approaching us quite steadily. So and I felt very tired here. I was quite sure that now I need to take some drink, and normally I just take water, but now I just took the drinking cup from the first corner of the plate or table there, and it came out that it was some kind of a sport drink, but it actually felt good at this point. So I felt that it was needed. So took that drink and then started my journey towards the 14th control. There was, by the way, one other runner in front of me here, Janne Weckman, who is a well-known map maker here in Finland. Also makes the, if I'm not mistaken, I think he makes the map, or is the other map maker of Jukola map next year in Kotka-Jukola. So, but I realized quickly that he's going totally different direction, and from the map animation, which is again the compiled map, we can see that he was going to that other control, and I'm going now this 14th control. So let's have a look how well I'm able to attack this control. You can see I'm now in a very flat area of this terrain, and I felt that I just need to kind of keep my compass control, and eventually it should lead to some kind of smaller hill there where the compass or where the control would be, and I'm doing quite well, and this man-made path here is also quite easy to follow. I had a bit uncertainty here, but then I realized, okay, there is the control. So to the 14th control, overall position in the relay is 136, and yeah, let's have a look what will be my route choice to that control. So my control is actually this control L, 15th control, and quite soon I decided to make a route choice. I will use the road on the left hand side. Initially I was thinking that should I actually go straight or should I use some route choice on the right hand side, but it was immediately clear that no route choice on the right hand side is kind of appealing for me. Maybe directly would be good, but I was already very tired. I started to feel really tired, and I think my legs were kind of making the decision on behalf of me. I think they kind of said that, yeah, let's just pick some nice surface which has a good runnability. So that's why I immediately just took compass direction towards the road, and I felt that it is probably going to be quite okay route choice in any case. And as you can see, when I left the 14th control, there is not too much ups and downs, so it's fairly flat, maybe one or two contours every now and then, but it's overall quite good runnability, as you can see from the video as well. And overall this is kind of some kind of harvested area, so there were some branches and so on the surface, but runnability was still quite okay. Soon we will see the road already in front of us, and I must say that it always feels good when you are tired and you reach that kind of road, because then you know that you can actually make some progress even though you are tired, but your kind of kilometer speed is much higher compared to the kilometer speed and when you are in the terrain only. So here I just kind of I was thinking that it's not too far away anymore. I need to kind of keep on going. So I was watching my watch that, okay, I don't remember exactly what was the distance at this point, but probably I only have maybe like 1 kilo or 1.5 kilometer left or something like that, so not too much. But you can see that other runner who just passed by me, he was having a totally different speed. I mean, he went over me and soon disappears. So there was probably 2 minutes per kilometer difference, or maybe even 3 minutes per kilometer difference. Well, it was quite easy to run here. I was also making some plans how I should attack that control, and I think it was quite clear that I will go under the electricity line, which is actually a known place for me in my first control, first leg, and I will continue my kind of way on the road for a while, and then there is kind of this kind of a small ditch there which I start to follow, and that's going to be a kind of a good plan how I will hit my control. And there is one runner. I wonder if this is the same guy who was running in front of me when I was going to the third control. Maybe not. He was having such a good speed here that maybe it was some other runner from the same club. Anyway, that was the electricity cable. I went under that, and now we see quite many runners. So we see many second leg runners who are starting their journey, but I think we saw also some runners who were already hitting towards the or doing their third leg. So anyway, now I just made small fine tuning to my compass, and now jumping away from the road and trying to follow this. There is kind of a ditch on the left hand side, and I saw that other runner went slightly uphill there. I thought that maybe I will not go or climb up there. I will instead follow this hill here, more on the kind of the flatter area, and it was actually quite good to go here. No complaints. And many times for orienter, it feels good if you make such a kind of a selection that it feels right. And at this point, this route selection it felt right for me and my feelings, because I was so tired. So no complaints to my own decisions at this point. Well, that other runner is now there. No, actually it was some other runner, but maybe that other runner who just passed me by on the road previously, he is now running somewhere there in front of me. And again, some small stick there, just needed to remove it. It's quite rare. Normally I don't get that kind of problem, but this time 2 times in the same run, so quite rare. Maybe my legs were so tired already that they were collecting some trash there even. Well, this control L, so my 15th control should be quite easy. There's a hill on the left hand side, and then just turning behind that hill, and then I should see that small stone there. Let's have a look. The hill is already there on the left hand side, and then I also realized that okay, it's there, and so also some other runners. So that's it, and feeling good that getting towards the finish soon. So this was the 15th control, and my split time for that control was 101 out of 801, so it was quite okay. And now we are heading to the 16th control. It's a short one. Some other runners there in front of me. Funny thing was that I think this one guy, he said that he had a target that he would finish before me his first leg, so he seemingly was kind of a active viewer of my Kuntoilija videos in my channel, so that was fun. And now just turning a bit more to left and picking the control. At this point my position was in the relay 134, so this was the highest kind of position I reach in this relay, because during the next leg I will lose some positions. So now going towards the 17th control, and quite quickly I made a route choice that I would like to use the left side in the beginning of that lake, and then quite straight in the rest of the control or the leg, and I can actually see that it was not the perfect. I mean, when I left 16th control, I could have been more straight toward the road. So it was not so optimal there. Not a big difference, but at least maybe some seconds could have been saved there. And I also found some quite dense part in this marsh area, and now already waiting that where is the road. I want to be there very soon, and felt quite tired here. My legs, they were completely exhausted, and biggest problems were my hamstrings at this point. I felt that I cannot run anymore well, so it was like some kind of a granny jog. so that was the feeling for me, and well, at least I'm still moving. That's the main thing. And now the key is of course that I should find the control smooth enough, and we will see some difficulties here nearby the control itself, but also slightly some smaller issues also before the control. So well, you will hear them soon and see them soon. So my plan was that I will find that harvesting tractor or harvesting machine track there, leaving to left very soon, and that could be kind of a logical path for me. So here we are, finding it very soon, and there it is. So now turning left, and this was actually very good runnability here. So many other runners have been also running along this path, and I was hoping that maybe I can follow this at least for a while. On the map this is ending quite soon, but in real life you will see that it's difficult to see where this map is actually ending, because many runners have been just kind of running this, and in reality this harvesting machine, it has been going also here, but maybe it was just kind of that it started to be a bit weaker at this point. I was going along this one, and I could have actually followed this to right very soon, but I jumped away from the path. I should have actually followed that path to right, but now I'm slightly too much on the left here, and I realized that I need to reach almost the top of the hill, which is then helping me to attack the control 17, and now I made a small turn here, and I also saw some other runner here, probably made a bit better route choice here, maybe even made a route choice from the 16th control to 17th on the right hand side of the lake. Here I found again some kind of a forest tractor path, and I saw also that the highest point of the hill is somewhere there on the right hand side. So now I just follow that highest kind of hill and stay on the left hand side of that, so I should be then approaching the control quite smoothly. But I had some difficulties to read the map at this point. Somehow I kind of read how the shape of the control point is actually in real life. I was kind of thinking that it looks slightly different, and the highest point of the hill was there on the right hand side, but there is also highest point on the left hand side. So I came between those two hills, and now I started to look that would the control already be here, and that the end of this shape here. And so the main reason for kind of a small mistake here is that I just tried to read the map, but it was difficult to understand how those objects on the map are and how they are in real life. And now I'm kind of stopping here, waiting a little bit that, hey, maybe it's still a bit further away. And when I'm going further away, I was not able to see the control here, but it should be quite near here. I'm a bit surprised. And then I looked more on the left side, and soon I will actually see the control. So it's the control is now just in front of me there, on top of that hill. So the flag was already visible, and now I thought that, yeah, it must be somewhere there, but I had difficulties to kind of understand the map at this point, and my hamstrings, they are completely dead at this point. I needed to even do some stretching there because some muscle cramps are hitting me. But anyway, I found the 17th control, and now there are 2 more controls left. A little bit stretching there, feeling so tired with my leg. And let's have a look what was my split time there. So it was actually quite bad split time to that 17th control. So let me just open up my split times again. So out of 1,600 runners, my split time was around 740. So that was quite bad for me, and I lost actually 8 places during that one control or that leg. So now I'm in the relay, my position is 142, so quite bad, and now I'm really having difficulties to make my way forward because my legs are completely tired. I'm almost getting muscle cramps all the time, and there is quite steep downhill here. Now I should find that small cliff somewhere there, and then I saw some runners there, and yeah, there is the cliff. Now I need to kind of just barely walk down there and get that control and make the punch. Again, really bad split time. My split there was 1,291 out of 1,605. So that was definitely my worst split time in this whole race. I lost 3 places, so now I'm in 145 position. Well, let me just kind of fight my way to the last control, which is slowly approaching. Luckily this is not longer, this journey for me this time, because I'm so tired and my muscles are so tired. Final hill. Now it's the hilltop here, and now I just turn to left, and let's see if we can see the last control soon. Yeah, it's somewhere there. What a relief. And we can see also the competition center on the right hand side there. Finally to the last control. My split time to that last control will be around 800 out of 1,600, so very slow, but not as slow as in the previous control. Yeah, and now a little bit speeding up here, but it was so difficult. I mean, my hamstrings, they were killing me. I mean, it was really difficult, and I was so relieved that I'm now reaching the finish line. So one can say that it's overall pretty okay. Only the big mistake in the first control, and then of course the 17th control was not so optimal, and I just lost my all strength in the end. But overall I was able to improve our team position 11 position, so it was kind of according to the plan, and now still picking up the right map to my teammate who is heading to the third leg. So it's going to be a very tough and long run for him as well. But hey, thanks for watching this video, and see you next year in Jukola as well. Bye bye.